Oh yes, we had now the last section of chapter 3, quadratic inequalities. So previously we have talked about inequality, but it's all about like power of 1 only. So now quadratic inequality means something like quadratic equation, but the equation just change the equal to be equal to bigger or less than equals to, and some sort of like that. Okay, so it's slightly more difficult, and we have trouble because it is in paper 1 most of the time. And how many marks? 2 to 3 marks. So one question in paper 1 most likely every year, and it is easy. I always say easy. Alright. Okay, so what does solving an inequality actually means? If I say solve x squared minus 1 is bigger than 0, what does it mean? Okay, what does that mean? Okay, let's say I take this function, I name it as fx. So fx is x squared minus 1. Then I got this one. Do you know how to sketch a graph for that? I guess you are pro already, right? Okay, so if you cannot, so I'll remind you of that. X minus 0, the whole thing squared, correct? Then minus 1, meaning that you shift center to 0 and minus 1. So center or the minimum point at 0 and -1. So it will be like this, 0 and -1. So it will look like this. Okay, this is 0 and -1. Okay, that's what you get here. So solve this. Okay, I put this as fx. Then solving this one means find the value such that the graph is higher than 0. Okay, I say fx is this one, right? Then I sketch the graph for fx is this one. Okay, so I give you a nicer graph. So it's here. Okay, I give you a nicer graph. It's here. I draw this. I want to solve for fx is bigger than 0. When will fx be bigger than 0? When? It's bigger than 0 in here and also here, correct? These are the part where it's bigger than 0. Solve means what? Solve means I want the x value, the range of x in which it is bigger than 0, meaning that what do I have? I have fx bigger than 0 means find x. So I solve for this one means when x is less than -1 and more than 1, then it satisfies that the function or the graph is higher than the x-axis, higher than y equals 0. Okay, you write this one as what? Y equals to fx equals to this one, right? Okay, then this is y. This one also y. Okay, you want to compare the y value and look for x values. Okay, you're comparing the y values here. I want the graph to be above y equals 0, means above the x-axis, means I want this part and also this part. So I want to trace it back, the x values. Look at the y and trace it back. So it's less than 1 and more than 1. Okay, so that's why it's this answer. If you get x squared minus 1 is bigger or equals to 0. Equals 0 means equals 0 is allowed, correct? Allowed, meaning that you can be less than or equals to -1, bigger or equals to 1. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, so whenever you are solving an inequality, you always think of the comparison between a y value, the graph. The graph is bigger than what value? Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so now you think about this one. So you want to solve for this one, means you want to solve for this function. I like it to be fx. I want fx to be less than 0, means I want it to be below the x-axis. Okay, below the x-axis means all this is okay, I can skip. I want to have the graph. I want it to be less than or equals 0. Okay, less than or equals 0 means where? Can you tell me? It's here, right? Okay, it's here. This part, right? Okay, this one is here, less than or equals 0. So it's here, inclusive of this point and also this point, correct? That's why. So the answer is between -1 and also 1, inclusive. So you see the equal sign here? Because it's equal sign here. If it's less than 0, then it's between -1 and 1 without equal here. Okay? Alright, I guess you're fine, right? Okay, treat this as a comparison between graph. Okay, you want it to be bigger than 0, less than 0. So which part is it? Okay, if it's this part, then you look at the x values. Okay, this part, look at the x values. Okay, so now, tell you the steps. What you're going to do, move all terms to one side. Okay, so coefficient of x squared is positive so that you are happier. You're happier, right? Because if you get negative x squared something, you are not too happy. So you always do the smiley face. Okay, that makes you happy. Okay, find roots and the shape. Okay, you know the shape by seeing the a. Okay, then roots is finding like the quadratic equation. You solve for it. Okay, rough sketch of graph means sketch this or sketch this. Okay, but all the time is this one because you are making it positive, right? Okay. Alright, find the range of x. Means we know, like let's say we want it to be bigger than 0, means it's this part, right? Okay, these two sides. It's less than 0 means like the middle part. Okay, we'll see an example later. So let's say for this one, I want everything move to one side and I want coefficient to be x squared. So you move to the left or move to the right? Clever, left. Okay, so I put this one. Second, I solve for this one. Okay, so you see, I do factorization, then I know the roots is equal to 6 or -3, correct? If I do factorization, then I know it's 6 or -3. How is these two things useful? Because I just sketch x squared minus 3x plus 18, I make it to be equal to 0, then I'll get 6 and -3. I am actually sketching the function fx equal x squared minus 3x plus 18 without carrying this less than 0. Okay, I'm just sketching this function only. Okay, a is equal to 1, bigger than 0, so it's a smiley face. Then what I'm going to do, I got this one, roots, I'm drawing the roots. Then the shape should look like smiley face. So I draw a smiley face. Happy. So I want what? I want the graph to be okay? Graph to be less than 0. Means graph to be less than 0 means I want it to be this part. Okay? And does it include -3 and 6? It does not, because there's no equal. Okay? So my answer is x between -3 to 6. Simple. It's very simple, right? Okay? It's just like that. Okay? It's just sketching that one. I know the two roots, so I want between or two sides. That's easy. Okay? Alright. So let's try one. Try one here. I want to move to one side. It's already one side. So I want greater than 0. Then I factorize it already. Then I know the roots should be 4 and -3. Okay, then next, I see the shape bigger than 0, or always bigger than 0. So if you do this practice, positive side always the positive x squared. So it will always be this shape, smiley face. Then you get a smiley face. Then what I do here, plot these 2 points, put the 2 points here, -3 and 4. I don't have to be very accurate. No accuracy here, because I just need to get a rough sketch. I need to know the region on the x-axis only. That's the only purpose that I'm drawing here. Okay, I draw a smiley face. Then I want the graph to be bigger than 0. This 0 is x or y? Y equals to 0, because this is y equals to this one, or y got fx. So they are both y. You are doing y value. So the graph, you want it to be above x-axis. So it should be which side? Left hand side and also right hand side. And the question is, does it include? No, it doesn't, because there's no greater or equal sign. So my answer is x either is less than -3 or it's bigger than 4. No equal sign. Great, I think you are fine already. Okay, I think you can get it already. Okay, right. Now let's try this yourself. Okay, pause the video and try this. Okay. All right. So I'll solve this. Bigger than 0, already one side, so it's fine. Okay. Then second, factorization. You see, this one is slightly harder because of what? Because of this coefficient is not 1. If it's not 1, then you gotta do this cross method, or you use the formula to find it. Okay, let me just remind you of that later. Okay, you see this one, I do a cross already, I get this one 5x, 5x. So this is the correct choice, means my factorization, this one is bigger than 0. 2x minus 1, x plus 3. Okay, so I know my roots, x is 1 or 2 and negative 3. Okay, alright, so if let's say you do what? You do in your calculator, you can find 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Then this one, use the formula given, b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, or you use calculator to solve for you, it will give you this, x equals to 1 over 2 or x equals to negative 3. It's the same thing as this one. Okay, it's the same thing as this one. So you don't have to worry about it, because what you need is essentially the roots only. Okay, if you want to write this back into here, how do you write? Okay, normally you have a root, then you have x minus half, right? Then x minus 3, so it's x plus 3. Then here is bigger, so it's always bigger. Okay, then you want to write it back to this one. You see, you multiply this x and this x, it is x squared. But here it's what? 2x squared. So what you do? Get rid of the fraction. So instead of x minus 1 or 2, you write it as 2x minus 1, x plus 3. Begin at 0 and settle, you're done. Okay, that's easy. Okay, right. So if you have this one, you have the roots. The main point is to find roots, so you don't care about the details, but I'm telling you so that you can have a detailed plan of cheating. Alright, so a is equal to begin 0, hence it's a smiley face. Smiley face. Then 4, I'm going to draw on this real line. I'm going to draw the roots only, right? It's nothing to do with this 2x minus 1 and x plus 3. I draw the roots and it's smiley face. I draw the smiley face. I want the graph to be bigger than the x-axis. It's on top. So it should give me which part? Bigger, it should be this part and also this part, exclusive of these 2 points. Meaning that I get my answer. Oops, did I write wrongly? So sorry, I'm very sorry, I forgot to write. So this is greater or equals to, greater or equals to, greater or equals to, hence I include. Okay, sorry about that, I saw it wrongly. Okay, so that's the only thing here. If it's bigger or equals to, then all these things are bigger or equal to 0. Then this one is inclusive of the endpoints, because when it is equals to 0 means it is here. It's here. So you have to take that 2 points in. Okay? Yes, you're great. So sorry for the error here. So I'll make the changes. Okay? Next. Try this yourself, okay? So I explain this to you. Find the range of k if you know the function intersects the x-axis at 2 different points. Hey, still remember this? What does it mean? You need hints? You need hints? No need. Okay, pause the video and try first. Okay, come back to see the answer. Okay, 2 different points means b squared minus 4ac is bigger than 0. Means b squared minus 4ac is bigger than 0. And you got this one. What do? I just put the a, b, c and substitute in, and I simplify it. I get this one bigger than 0. And hence, I can have one method here. Okay, this first method, use the traditional way. I divide by 3. Can I divide by 3 here? It's not a quadratic function, right? Okay, I'm not looking at this function now. I'm looking at this thing now. This is something else. So it's something like equation or inequality. You can do division both sides. It's fine. Okay, it's okay. So I divide by 3. So I get this one. Then I do this cross method. I get this one. Okay, then I should be able to get the roots, right? The roots are 2 over 3 and 2. Okay, so if I have roots, everything is settled. Because I know the shape and I draw that one. I draw the 2 points here, put it there, and I draw that smiley face. Now I want it. I want this function. This function is this function. This function is this graph. I want the graph to be bigger than 0. Means I want this one to be above. So it is that and that. Okay? Means bigger only. B square minus 4AC bigger than 0. Bigger than 0. So not included. So I got that one. Bigger than 2 or less than 203. So that's my range of K. That's what I want to find. Okay, I guess this is fine for you. Right, I have second methods waiting for you. You know why I have second methods? Because this is a little bit difficult if you are not familiar with the factorization. Okay, okay, so I do this. This one, I do formula. Okay, I do this formula. I solve for it, I still get the same answer, 2 or 203. If I get the roots, everything is fine. I just need the roots, nothing else. Okay, I plot this one, it's a smiley face, and I plot the graph, bigger than 0. So I plot the graph there, 2 and 203, put it there, smiley face, and it is bigger. I want it to be bigger above the x-axis. So left hand side and also right hand side. So my final answer will be the same. It is K bigger than 2 or K is less than 203. Okay? I don't want you to get confused. This K and the function is totally different stuff. Now we are talking about the K. The K is some value. When you put the values in, it will affect the graph. Okay? But the graph is intersecting the x-axis at 2 different points. So the K value will affect this one. So what does this mean? Meaning that when K is bigger than 2 or K is less than 203, then this function will have 2 different points intersecting at the x-axis. Okay? Let's say it's something else. It's something here. Then it will not happen. Okay? It will not have 2 different points on the x-axis. Okay? Don't mix up these 2 different things. This is the function fx. This is another quadratic equation that you have to solve for it to get the K. Okay? Okay, so it's problem time for you, and you know why I'm going to do this is that I'm just going to write down a few of the past year SPM questions so that I get a feeling of how is it being said in the question. So this is a must take. So it's a 2 marks or 3 marks for free. It's that simple, so you have to do it no matter what. Okay, so I'll write it here and we'll come back to solve for it. Alright.